There's a man in a green coat with the black hood walking around throwing dog poo at people. He got near me, a greasy pig. I am absolutely covered in it. Stay safe, guys. Did you take a selfie?
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make the dream amigurumi you guys probably saw on TikTok. I just want to say a big thank you again for all the love and support I've been seeing. I'm more shocked than anything because honestly it just feels so weird. Oh, how the turns have tabled. I don't want to make this video too long, so these are the techniques you need to know and some of the materials you're going to need. So before we start, I just want to quickly show how I make my magic circle because we're going to be using this a lot in the pattern. So you're just going to take your fingers like this in front of the yarn and you want to twist away from you so that you create an overlap right here where my finger is. Then you're going to take the short tail end right here and push it from the back to the front through the loop so that you create like a little twist right here, and you want to make sure you pull it back all the way where you started, and you see the twist here, you want to hold on to that, and you're going to take your hook and you're going to insert your hook through the loop and you're going to yarn over from here. So I'm going to just slowly do it and pull through the circle, and you're going to yarn over again and pull through the loop. This is what you should have so far, and make sure you're still holding onto that loop on your left hand right here so that it doesn't come off yet, because we're going to start crocheting. So you're going to go under the two loops, yarn over and pull through the circle and make your first single crochet, and that is basically how it started. That counts as one already, so you're just going to be able to add as many as you want into the circle, and when you're done with the circle you can just pull this short tail end, and you'll know that you did it right when it slides just like this. It should close up and bring all the stitches together. And now that you know how to do that, you can just crochet the required amount of stitches into the circle for the project that you're working on. Now that you know how to do that, we're going to start making dreams. So we're going to start with the legs. So you're going to take your black yarn and your 3mm crochet hook, and you're going to make a magic circle with 6 single crochets. So once you're done, you're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that you made. This is just so that it'll be easier for the color change later when we do the shirt and other things in the pattern. So after you do that, you're going to chain 1 to start the next row, and we're going to do an increase row. So you're going to put 2 single crochets into the stitch right under that because that is the first one. So you're going to put 2, and you're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch all around. This means you'll have 12 single crochets in total at the end. Now once you're finished with this round, you want to slip stitch into the first stitch that you made, and you want to do this after every row that we're going to be doing, so make sure to remember to do that. Now we're going to be doing no more increases, so from rows 3 to 6 you want to put a single crochet in each stitch all around. Once you're done with your 4 rows, it should look something like this. It actually kind of looks like the Among Us leg that I made, just smaller. When you're done with that, you should cut it off and you have your first leg. But since this is my second leg already, you can just leave it on the yarn because we're now going to attach it. So you want to cut off the first leg and then make the second one, but don't cut it off. Now we're going to attach it. You're going to chain 3 from here. This is going to be the gap between the legs. Then you're going to take your second leg and you're going to directly add a single crochet in any stitch in that leg. So I'm just going to put my hook through any stitch and put a single crochet, and then from here you're going to single crochet around, and you should have 12 single crochets around the second leg. Once you've made it all around, we're going to do another chain 3. So from here you're going to do a chain 3, and then you're going to single crochet directly into the stitch right here, where kind of like next to where the other chain 3 is, so that it's even. So you're going to put a single crochet on there, and you're going to do another round of 12 single crochets around this other leg. Now to end off this row, I'm going to do this by looking at the chain in the beginning right here. This first chain that we made, you want to put your hook through that and make a slip knot and chain 1, and that's how we know where we ended the row and where we're going to start the row, just so it's easier. Now to start the next row, you're going to single crochet into the chain that you slip stitch into to make sure that you have the correct number of stitches, and you're going to single crochet in the next 2 chains. Then once you've done that, you're going to single crochet in each stitch all around the leg until you reach the other chain 3 in the back. Now once you reach the back, you're going to do the same thing like we did in the front, just put a single crochet in the next 3 chains. And then you would single crochet in each stitch around the other leg until you reach the front. Then once you're done and reach the front again, you're going to slip stitch back into the first single crochet you made. Now I didn't realize I didn't film the next row, but basically you're just going to chain 1 and put a single crochet in each stitch all around, but at the end you don't want to slip stitch into the first single crochet because we're going to do a color change. Now that you're done with that row, we're going to do a color change to the green yarn. So you're going to take your black yarn and leave it behind the piece, like it's inside, make sure it's not sticking out, and you're going to put the green yarn behind inside the piece as well, and you're going to yarn over with the green yarn, pulling it through the black loop. Now when you yarn over with the green yarn, you're going to tug on the black string to make sure the yarn is secured into place, and then now we're going to be working with the green yarn, so you're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of this round, and you're going to see that it makes a seamless color change. Then you'll have your loose ends in the back, and you can just cut off the black yarn whenever you're ready. You can tug on the green yarn in the back to make sure it's more secure, and now we're going to get started on the next row. Now in green, for the next 3 rows, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch all around. So no increases, no decreases, just a single crochet in each stitch all around in green for the next 3 rows. So I'll see you guys back when you have your 3 rows of Dream's shirt on his pants. Now that you're done with your 3 rounds, we're going to start off decreasing. So you're going to chain 1 and you're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then in the next one, you're going to do a decrease where you single crochet 2 together and it only makes 1 single crochet, and this is so that the pattern will start to get smaller and shape into the body. And then you want to just repeat this pattern all the way around until you reach back to the front. So it's 3 single crochet decrease, 3 single crochet decrease. For the next round, we're just going to be doing a single crochet in each stitch all around. Now for the next round, you're going to do another decrease again. So chain 1, single crochet in the next 3 stitches and do a decrease into the next. Again, you want to repeat this all the way around, but in this row at the end, I think you should have like 4 stitches. You can just single crochet in the last 4. Now when you're done with this round, you can kind of see the body taking shape. We're just going to do a few more before we move on to the arms. So the next row, you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then you're going to do a decrease into the next, and you're going to repeat this all the way around again. And after you're done with that round, you can just pull up the loop before stuffing it so that it won't unravel your work, and just lightly stuff your piece. So while you're stuffing your piece, I just want to say that I will not be selling these. Also, just like the Among Us ones I have on TikTok, the one reason is because, of course, copyright, and the second is I've never shipped anything before, so it would be chaotic if I just opened up a shop and just started making it, selling it, not knowing what I'm getting myself into. So if I am going to be selling anything in the future, there is going to be like a time frame where I have to learn how to do everything, so I'm not just going into it blindly. so that it's, you know, a little bit more organized and stuff. Now for the last round in the body, you're just going to do a round of single crochets in each stitch, so no increases, no decreases, just a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Once you're done with that last row, you're just going to cut off a long tail for sewing and stuff the body just a little bit more to make sure it's firmly stuffed. And before we move on to the arms, we actually need to sew the gap between the legs right here. So you're just going to take some black yarn and sew that closed. And once you're done sewing that, you should have something that looks like this, and now we can move on to the arms. Now with your beige yarn, this is actually the only beige I have. It's like a kind of fluffy yarn, but it's okay. I'm going to make a magic circle and I'm going to add 3 single crochets. Since this yarn was harder to work with when I'm making like small details, it was hard to film because I don't know if I was showing it correctly, but you just want to slip stitch into the first single crochet that you made, chain 1, and then you're going to put a single crochet in each stitch around, so you should still have 3 single crochets at the end of this row. So after this row, you don't want to slip stitch yet. We're going to do a color change with the green yarn. So just like we did before, you're going to take your green yarn and make a chain with it, and then you're going to use the green yarn to slip stitch into the first chain or single crochet of this row. Now you should be working with the green yarn to start the row. You're going to chain 1 and then you're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around, so at the end you should have 6 single crochets. So once we finish that round, we're going to do a total of 4 more rows of single crochets in each stitch. So we're not going to do any more increases. You're just going to single crochet in each stitch for the next 4 more rounds. And once you're finished with the last row, it should look something like this. Now we can just tie it off and cut off a long tail for sewing onto the body. And then you want to make another one so that you have 2. Now that you have your two arms, we can sew it onto the body. I actually have no specific way to sew it. I just put them to the sides of the body and see where they look best. And what I did was I actually folded the body in half like this and see where the crease is, and that's basically where I sewed it on. Now this is optional, but just so that the arms don't fly far away from the body, I actually just stuck my needle through here and sewed the side of the arm close to where this arm sits on the body so that it doesn't just flop around. You don't have to do this, but I just wanted it to sit still. Now that you got both the arms sewed on, we can move on to making the head. So with your beige color again, you want to make a magic circle and add 6 single crochets in the circle, and we're basically going to be making a basic sphere, so this should be easy if you already know how to do that. And when you're done with this row, you're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet you made and chain 1 to start the next row. You want to do this after every row. So for round 2, you're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around, which is an increase, and you would have 12 at the end of this row. For the next row, you're going to add a single crochet in the next stitch and an increase into the next stitch. So this is going to be the pattern all the way around. So again, you're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch and an increase into the next. Now for the next row, you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, just like this, and then you're going to do an increase into the 3rd stitch after that. So that's going to be the pattern, and again, you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches and put an increase into the 3rd stitch. Now we're going to increase again, so you're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches and you're going to put an increase into the 4th stitch. So you want to repeat that pattern again all the way around. Now for our last increase row, we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches and then you're going to increase into the 5th stitch and you're going to repeat that around, and that's the last row of increases. Now for the next 3 rows, we're not going to do anything but single crochet in each stitch all around. So you're not going to do any increases or decreases. You're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch, and I'll see you back when you have your 3 rows. Now that you're done with your 3 rows, we're going to start decreasing. So you want to single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and you're going to decrease into the next, and you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. Then for the next row, we're going to put a single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and you're going to do a decrease into the next, and as usual, do this all the way around. Now for the next row, you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches and a decrease into the next. So basically the numbers just keep getting lower and lower after each row. Now after you're done with that row, you can start stuffing your piece. Now I didn't add eyes or anything like facial features on this part because his face is going to be covered by a mask. We don't know what his face looks like, so you know, he's faceless, so I just left him faceless and hairless. So it's up to you if you guys want to add anything. I don't even know how to add hair well, so yeah. Now for the last row of decreases, you're going to single crochet in the next stitch and do a decrease into the next, and you want to just repeat that all the way around. Now that you're done with that row, you can just cut off your yarn, and you don't have to cut off a long tail because we have the string from the body still, and you want to make sure you stuff it firmly before attaching it to the body. Now that you're done with that, you can just use the tail end from the body to attach the 2 pieces together. This is what he should look like so far, so now we're going to move on to making the mask. Now with your white yarn and 5mm hook, you're going to make a magic circle and you're going to put 6 single crochets in the circle. Then again, after every row, slip stitch into the first single crochet that you made. And to start the next row, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to put an increase in each stitch around. For the next row, you're going to put a single crochet in the next stitch and you're going to put an increase into the next stitch, and you want to repeat this all the way around. Now for the last row of increases, you're going to put a single crochet in the next 2 stitches and an increase into the 3rd stitch. Now if you don't have a 5mm hook, you can actually use the same hook that you used for the body. You just would have to add more increase rows. So if you don't have a 5mm hook, you can just do the same pattern you did for the head, until the last increase row of the head, I would say, for the 3mm hook. Unless you have this, you can just do this. Now once you're done with that row, you can tie it off and cut off your yarn and weave your ends into the back or the sides. Now we're going to make the face details. So this is where I mentioned in the beginning the needle felt and the sponge was optional because I'm going to needle felt the eyes on. Now you don't have to do this, which is why it's optional. You can just sew them on, but I just found it really difficult to sew perfectly circular eyes on the mask. And you don't have to even sew them on, you can just cut them out with felt even. So there are so many ways you can make the smile, and it's literally just a smile, but for some reason it was so hard for me to perfect it. I don't know. Tell me if you guys have the same problem. So now that I have sewn on the smile, I'm going to add the eyes, and basically if you're going to needle felt it like I am, you're going to cut off just a little bit of black yarn and you're going to roll it into a ball and place it like right above the edge of the smile, like right here, and then you're just going to needle felt it in place. So after you've done that, you want to just repeat that with the other eye, and this is just the other mask that I made. I'm just going to now make the side straps that will wrap around the face. So taking some black yarn, you want to make a slip knot on your hook, and then you're going to attach this to the side of the mask, and you want to line it up with the eye. So basically you're going to make a single crochet right on there to attach it, and then you're going to start chaining a long chain that's going to wrap around the face. And I don't exactly know how much it was, but you would just do this and measure it around the face until it reaches the other side. So once you have a chain long enough to wrap all the way around the face, you can now attach the end of the chain to the other end near the eye and make a slip stitch to attach it. Then you would cut off your yarn and tuck your ends into the back. Now you can just put the mask on and it looks so cute. You can this is going to be removable, so if you just want a faceless dream, then you'll have a faceless dream. Now the last part is making the hood. So you want to make a slip knot and make a chain of 36. I cannot stress this enough. When I say that this hood was a pain to make, it was literally so irritating because I didn't know how to make this pattern. So you'll see in the end of the video that it's nighttime. It's going to be nighttime when I finish it. So once you have your 36 chains, you're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook and then down the rest of the row. Once you're done with that, you want to chain one and turn your work, and then you're going to single crochet right on top of the next stitch and down the rest of the row. And then after this row, you want to chain one and do another row of just single crochets. So after you've done your 2 rows, you're going to chain one and turn your work again. You're going to single crochet in the first available stitch, and then you're going to do a decrease into the next. And then after you've done that, you want to single crochet down the rest of the row, but do not single crochet into the last 3 yet. Once you have your last 3, you're going to do a decrease in the first 2, and on the last one you're going to do a single crochet. Now for the next row, you're just going to chain one and put a single crochet in each stitch across. Now for the next row, you're just going to chain one, turn your work, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do a single crochet and a decrease again, and you're going to single crochet down the row and leave the last 3, do a decrease and a single crochet. So this is how your work should look so far. It should slowly be getting smaller. And now on the next row, we're just going to do a single crochet in each stitch across. Now for the next 2 rows, you're just going to single crochet in each stitch across, so no decreasing or anything like that, just single crochet in each stitch for the next 2 rows. Now as you can see, it is now nighttime and I had to turn my flash on, so if there is some glare on the yarn. I'm so sorry about that, but yeah, the next thing you want to do is fold your work in half. It doesn't matter which way, but then you want to connect it by doing a slip stitch on the other opposite end of the what do I call this, of the work. Just make a slip stitch so that it connects, and we are now going to be working in rounds. So we're going to be leaving this area open and we're going to be working around here. Now we're going to start decreasing to make the back hood. So you're just going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches and do a decrease into the next, and you want to repeat that pattern all the way around. Once you finish that round, you're going to slip stitch back into the first single crochet that you made, and then you're going to start the next round by single crocheting in the next 3 stitches and doing a decrease into the next, and repeat that all the way around. For the next round, you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches and do a decrease into the next, and again repeat it all the way around. Now for the next row, you're going to single crochet in the next stitch and decrease into the next, and repeat that all the way around. Don't worry, just hang in there, we're almost done. So for the last round, you're just going to do a decrease all the way around until you reach the end, and then we can sew it closed. So now that you've finished that, it's kind of hard to see, but we have to sew this piece closed so that it looks much nicer. So you're going to tie it off and cut off a tail for sewing onto the body as well. So how you want to sew this closed is you basically put your needle through the outermost stitch of each stitch and just go all the way around, kind of like a, how do you call it? I forgot what this is called, a whip stitch. You put it around each stitch like a whip stitch, and then you pull it to close, and then just insert your needle back into the hood, and then we are going to sew it onto the head from there. So to attach the hood onto the head, you want to just place the head into the little groove that's made for it right there, and you want to make sure that you're pulling the ends of the hood over the shoulders so that it looks like it's attached. And you're going to sew this into place just like this, and in the back you want to make sure that it covers the whole entire head so it's not showing any of his skin on the other side. So you're just going to sew this into place like this, and then you should be finished. Now that your hood is attached, the last thing to do is add the little strings that go on the hood. Now you don't have to do this, this is also optional, but to do it you want to make a slip knot and chain 10. After you've chained 10, you can tie it off, cut off a tail for sewing onto the side of the hood, and make a knot at the end so that it looks kind of like the strings on, regular hoodies. And then you can just make another one and do it to the other side. This is how it should look like, and you can just sew it onto place right here and on the other side, and once you do that you will be finally done. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and found it easy to follow through. I'm so sorry I will not be selling these due to obvious reasons. If you guys do decide to create this, please tag me on TikTok at j.jasmine. I'd love to see your recreations of Mr. Lungs Not Found. Also, be sure to subscribe because you guys already know the next member of the dream team I'm going to crochet next. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!